Kelly, I'm sorry to have disturbed you earlier.
Not at all. Please come visit us anytime.
It was a lovely house.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm so envious since you're able to live in that high rise at such a young age. That's extravagant for you.
Huh?
No, it's nothing. Anyway, I'll never get out of my old house.
Don't say that. It's a precious house that your husband built for you. I'm sure it holds many memories that money can't buy.
That's true. But still, it's amazing that your parents are the company's president.
I beg your pardon?
Because they can buy a high-rise without much effort. After all, the company's president is the best.
Well, it's my father and I'm proud of him.
I see.
I've been through a lot myself.
But to be given a house like this? That means that Kenny is now a member of the family.
What do you mean?
Someone will eventually take over your father's company, right?
That's right.
Normally, a child would take over.
Not necessarily.
I was just wondering who would take over since you are the only daughter. But the fact that they recognize Kenny as a family member means that he might take over, right? I'm sure your father will agree.
That's hard to say.
Why?
I've never talked about that with my father. I'm sure my father will do his best as the current president for the time being. I haven't heard anything about him retiring from his current position.
But there's still a possibility. I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
Why are you excited?
Because wouldn't it be a dream come true for my son to be the president of a big company? Maybe the day I start to live in a high-rise won't be far off.
What are you talking about?
Nothing in particular.
I think you're being too paranoid. Besides, my father is still very healthy, so I don't think he's thinking about retiring.
I don't think so. Kelly, I'm so sorry to bother you again today. Thanks for the delicious cake. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to meet Kenny.
Sorry for that. He's been away a lot lately, even on my days off. I haven't been able to see him either.
Really? Maybe he's starting to realize that he's the one who's going to take over the company.
What did you say?
Kenny is aware that he's going to be the next president of the company.
What makes you think so?
Because we were talking about it today.
Huh? About what?
I heard it.
What do you mean?
When I was in the bathroom, you got an incoming call on your phone, right?
Yes.
I heard your voice at that time.
Did I say something?
I didn't hear the other party's voice, but I think you were saying that someone is taking over the company.
Was I?
Don't pretend as if you know nothing. I heard you saying that one of the relatives might take over the company.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard you. There are only a limited number of relatives, aren't there?
It's either me, Kenny, or my cousin.
Right? Kenny is the only one I can think of. Since you're a woman, the employees won't respect you and you'll end up destroying your father's company that he worked so hard to build up.
What are you talking about? Don't be rude.
After all, Kenny is going to take over the company, right? Isn't that why he's giving up his days off to go around solving problems?
I don't think so, but I can't say anything about that.
Why not?
It's still the company's secret, so I can't tell you even though you're my mother-in-law. I haven't talked about that with Kenny either,
Well, but Kenny is the one who's going to take over the company. When you bought the high-rise, your father approved. So that means your father trusts Kenny.
I can't say anything about that. Because as an employee, I have to abide by the company rules too.
I'm pretty sure.
Excuse me?
No, it's nothing. I'm just talking to myself.
Ruth, can I talk to you?
What's wrong?
I've got a big package in front of my house.
Oh, it arrived already? That was quick.
What is this package?
Oh, you don't have to worry about it.
It's an enormous amount of luggage, so it's obvious that I'm worried.
Can you keep it until tomorrow? I appreciate your cooperation on that.
Well, I don't mind to keep those, but still, there's a lot of luggage.
By the way, I met Kenny today.
Seriously? You met him? I didn't know.
Really? He hasn't gone home yet?
No, he hasn't. So, did he tell you anything?
Well, I guess he said something.
What did he say?
Why are you asking me that?
I didn't know you were meeting him today. So I thought maybe you had something to talk about.
You'll find out tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Anyway, please take care of my stuff until tomorrow. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for taking care of my luggage.
You're welcome.
Yesterday, I met Kenny and he gave me the key to this high-rise.
What do you mean by that?
I called Kenny a week ago and he said he's decided to take over your father's company.
What? I don't understand.
Oh, come on. I don't know if it's a company secret or anything like that, but keeping it to yourself is just not fair.
Did you hear that from Kenny?
That's right. I'm so proud of him. He's always been brilliant and diligent. I have no doubt that he's the best candidate to take over the company.
Ruth, isn't that a misunderstanding?
I asked Kenny, so it can't be a misunderstanding. Could it be that you were planning to take over? I guess your father couldn't rely on a woman like you after all. That's why he decided to let Kenny be his successor.
Did Kenny say he's going to take over the company?
Yes, he did. Now this big company belongs to my son. Since you're no longer needed, I want you to divorce Kenny.
What are you talking about selfishly?
Kenny will live in this high-rise if he's the next company's president. So I'm going to ask you to leave.
Huh? Is that why you sent those luggages?
Oh yes, I decided to move in. I'm sure Kenny will have a lot of things to do before taking over the company. So I'd better stay with him. Which means you are no longer needed.
Did Kenny really say that? That's unbelievable.
I'm not lying. In fact, I got the key yesterday.
I can't have you doing such a selfish thing. It's my house, too.
Kenny told me about you. He said that you've been going to your parents' house where your father lives most of the time. You hardly ever came back to this high-rise.
What? Did Kenny tell you that too?
Yes. He lamented about it. He said you hardly ever came home. He said he had trouble eating his meals, doing his laundry, and taking out the trash.
Did he really say that?
I'm telling you the truth. That's just disgusting. Your father has spoiled you too. He let his married daughter go back to the family home and disrespect her husband?
What?
Well, Kenny has to take over the company anyway. So I guess he couldn't disobey your father. Poor him. He's been putting up with you for a long time. But now that he's decided to take over this big company, he wants to take the opportunity to divorce you.
Divorce?
Yes. From now on, I'll support my son who's taking over the company.
You know what? I think that's a big misunderstanding. And that's not the only thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
You don't know anything about your son, do you?
Huh? That cheeky way of talking makes me angry.
Let me explain one by one. Kenny hasn't been home for about 6 months now.
What are you talking about? It's you who haven't come home, right?
No, it's the opposite.
What are you talking about?
Kenny is having an affair.
Adultery? That's impossible. He never said that.
Of course he wouldn't say he was having an affair. Because of my father's company, he begged me several times to get back together with me. But he never came back.
Are you kidding me?
When he stopped coming to work, my father became furious and fired Kenny.
Fired?
Normally, if the daughter's husband has an affair and doesn't come home, parents would be angry, right? So the truth is, Kenny is not even the company's employee now.
That's a lie. I don't believe you. Kenny said he's going to take over that big company.
Do you know where he is now?
I don't know. I thought he was back at the high rise.
Even you have no idea where he is now. I know he's with the woman he's having an affair with. So I was surprised to hear that you met him yesterday.
What? If that's the case, I should have taken him back to the high rise.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Why not?
This high rise was sold to me by a friend of my father's at a very reasonable price. And I paid for it in a lump sum. I can't let Kenny, who betrayed me, enter this house.
You paid in a lump sum?
Yes, indeed. I was a workaholic until I met Kenny, so I had a lot of savings. I'm not good at paying in installments, so I paid in one lump sum.
I wonder how much you have saved that you were able to afford a high rise.
My father trained me quite well at work. After I became managing director early on, my income increased. But I was so busy with work that I didn't have time to spend it.
You're a managing director? That means that you'll be in charge of owning the company in the future, right?
I don't know about that. My father is still very active. As for the future, I really don't know either.
I didn't realize you're a board member.
I'm still learning a lot in my job. By the way, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Kenny and I are already divorced.
What? That caught me off guard.
Kenny sent me the divorce papers unilaterally. We couldn't even discuss that. By that time, I had no love for him anymore. I filled in my name, etc., and delivered it to the authorities.
You're lying, aren't you? Is that true? You're lying because you don't want me to live in the high-rise, right?
Unfortunately, I'm telling you the truth. It's been more than half a year since Kenny stopped coming home. How can our marriage last in such condition?
Well, so that day when you treated me cake, Kenny wasn't coming home?
That's right. Back then, I was trying to get back together with him somehow too. So at that time, I told you that lately he's been away a lot, even on his days off.
Oh no. So what's going to happen to me now?
Well, for now, you need to get your stuff out of the high-rise.
What? I've sent them all this way, but you want me to carry them out again?
Kenny and I are already divorced. That means you and I are strangers. It's outrageous to keep someone else's belongings and let the person live in your house.
You can't just do that to me. Where do you want me to go?
Go back to your parents' house or find a new one.
My parents' house? That house is gone.
What? Why?
Because Kenny said that we should sell it.
Why?
We were moving to the high-rise, so we don't need it anymore. And for that, he wants me to help pay for the high-rise.
No kidding, so you paid him?
Yes. I don't know what to do, Kelly.
No matter how you put it, you were completely deceived. In the first place, I already paid for this townhouse. I'm sure that the money went to fund Kenny's life with his adulterous partner.
No way. Then does that mean I lost my house and my money too?
That's what it means.
What am I going to do? I sent those luggages with the intention of living here. Where am I supposed to go then?
Looks like you're in trouble. You can't get in touch with Kenny?
That's the thing. When I called him last night, I couldn't get through to him. And his WhatsApp account has disappeared for some reason.
Apparently, to him, you're just merely a financial supporter. He took advantage of your misunderstanding. Your son took everything from you.
Oh no, boo-hoo!
Nothing will change if you cry like that. You won't get your house and your money back. It was a mistake to trust your son.
He's not the kind of boy who would lie. And to deceive me to get money, it's like a crime.
Yes, I think he has changed. He isn't the man you knew.
I didn't know about that. It's your fault. Kenny cheated behind your back because you're not taking a good care of him.
That may be so.
It's too late now.
Kenny was a kind-hearted person. Even within the company, he was able to treat his employees kindly. But maybe he felt pressured because of his kindness?
What do you mean?
The rumors said that he got married to the president's daughter, which is true. So the upper management expected him to play an active role in the company. On top of that, you told him to take over the company. Maybe he just couldn't bear the pressure and decided to run away.
I don't think so. You should have supported him more.
That's right. But I guess I didn't realize it.
What? Do you think that makes it forgivable?
If that's the case, I'm sorry, but that's not a good reason to cheat on me, right? If he has a problem, he should have talked to me first.
That's just your excuse. It's not too late to do something about it.
That's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
I told you before, didn't I? We're already divorced. I'm already a stranger to you and Kenny. I won't go through all the trouble for you who are strangers to me.
Kenny cheated on you because of your own fault.
I don't know what really happened because I'm only imagining. After all, I haven't met Kenny nowadays. No matter what the reason is, if he doesn't come home, doesn't show his face, and doesn't answer the phone, there's nothing I can do to help. I have no intention of living with someone like him.
Huh? Then what should I do?
That's up to you.
Because I don't have a house and money. What do you want me to do?
I can't help you. I'm a stranger now. There's nothing I can do.
That's terrible. I'm your ex-mother-in-law. Don't you want to help me or at least find me a place to live?
No, I don't. Because you tried to take over my high-rise. You sent a bunch of stuff to me without my consent. That's insane.
Then while I'm taking care of those luggages, can't you let me stay here for a while? Of course I'll leave when I find a place to live.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
I've decided to sell the high-rise.
What? Why?
That high-rise was originally Kenny's favorite property. He said that he wanted to live there in the past. He sounds just like you, doesn't he?
Huh?
So, as I explained earlier, I paid for the high-rise in a lump sum. But now, I have nothing but painful memories. So I've decided to sell it in order to renew my mind from now on. That's why I need you to get your stuff out of the high-rise within a week. I'll be counting on you.
1 week? How can I do that? That's impossible. Can't you give me an extension?
1 week is the deadline the real estate agency gave me, so I can't extend it.
Well then, have that agency find me a room.
That's fine, but you'll have to pay for it yourself.
I told you that I don't have the money, didn't I?
I don't care. If you can't pay the rent, then I can't help you find a room. Please rely on others and do it on your own.
Boo-hoo! Kelly, please be nice to me and do something about it. Please, I have nowhere to go.
There's no use crying on the phone. It's because you trusted your son and misunderstood him. There must have been many things you thought were strange when you talked to Kenny, but you couldn't see through that, so it can't be helped.
Please, don't be so cold.
I can't help you, so find a place to go somehow. And please leave within a week.
Don't say that. Please help me. Don't you feel sorry for me since I'm being abandoned by my son?
I'm a stranger to you now. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait, Kelly!
After that, Ruth continued to live in the high-rise. The real estate agent scolded her a lot and kicked her out. At that time, she finally handed over the key. Well, I feel sorry for her because she is a victim too. But it was her own son, so she had no choice. The worst is her son Kenny. He cheated his mother out of money and has been missing ever since. I'm a little worried about the future of this mother and son. Anyway, I don't care what happens to him because he is a stranger now. As for me, my father has officially announced that I will be the next president of the company. From now on, I will work harder to improve myself in order to become the president of the company that my father has brought up, so that he will be proud of me.